When you put an object into a scene in 3D Studio Max, you can clone the object to make a copy of it. There are 3 different types of clones, and we'll show you what those are. First, make sure your object is selected. Go to the Edit menu and select Clone. This brings up the clone options. There are 3 different types of clone objects. There's a copy, an instance, and a reference. A copy of an object is an exact independent duplicate of that object. And the only difference between the copy and the original is the name of the object. And you can change the name of the object right here. An instance is a copy of an object with one unique property. An instance is not a complete copy of an object, but instead it's a placeholder for the second copy of the object. The copy is exact except for the transformations that includes position, rotation, and scale of the instanced objects. So if you create a sphere and you make a second copy of the sphere that is an instance, only one defined sphere exists in that scene. The second copy is a placeholder telling 3D Studio Max to make a copy of that sphere at a new location. If an instance of an object is changed, all of the other instances of that object and the original are changed. And you can instance all kinds of objects in 3D Studio Max, including animation objects and materials. A reference object is similar to an instance with the exception of one thing. In a reference, the object is changed. In a reference object, if the original object is changed, all the references change. But if you change the reference object, it doesn't affect the original object or other references of that object. There's another way to create a clone. If you hold down the Shift key and with the Move tool click on an object, it'll bring up the clone options. Or if you hold down the Shift key and click and drag, you can make a clone of the object, and then afterwards it asks you to choose what kind of clone you'd like that object to be, and you can also change the name.